What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Trophy Chasers Podcast, episode 15. My name's Fliptriq, here with DMC123. How's it going?
Hello, people. Hey, man, doing well.
Good. Pretty slow week.
Very slow.
Very, very slow.
I feel like we're in the we're walking through a sludge of mud, man, and the shore is really close. Watchdog can't come soon enough. And Transistor, by the way, which you've been on top of for so long. I'm finally starting to feel the love, man. It's everywhere. The art, direction. It's just, I think I'm in love, man, with the actual person. She's so beautiful. They did a great job with the game. I can't wait to play it.
I can't either. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Did you ever play Bastion?
I didn't play Bastion. I have it on Steam. You know, I have 10,000 games on my PC, which is still broken. But Bastion is one of them, and I'm you know what? I have no excuse. Flip. No excuse.
It's only been 2 years.
It's only been 2 years. Did you love it? I heard it was a great game. Everybody loves it.
Mm-hmm. I bought it the day it came out on the 360. That was back when I had my 360, and that was actually right around the same time that I started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so good. Such a good game. Everything about it I liked.
You know, yeah. I've been talking about fixing my PC for so long. I just wanted to make it a super duper computer that can transform into a motorbike. But you know, I've been debating between, you know, you talk to master race people, they'll debate between the CPU and the dude. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
The closer you get to E3, the slower the days are getting.
Yeah, man. Everybody's bottling up information, and what we're getting now, which is so exciting. I remember last year, and last year was the most extraordinary E3 in recent memory, primarily because we had these major consoles coming out, and but we're starting to get leaks, a little bit of leaks, and I think we're just on the precipice of really having a full blown explosion of information. So I guess we're going to talk a little bit about those leaks today, just a tiny bit. But yeah, man, I can't wait.
Let's just get into it. What have you heard?
Well, the big news from my perspective, just when I got finished with thinking the heavens that I was done with Dark Souls 2, is Project Beast, right? So what's Project Beast, man? All these little screenshots came out and all this stuff. Well, Project Beast is the rumored to be the spiritual successor of Demon's Souls, which is still a Sony IP. What has been confirmed so far is a lot of the folks who were a part of Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1, in From Software is now working with Sony Japan, and they actually have a working build of this thing out, and it's rumored to be shown at E3. There's been several Sony insiders that has stopped short of confirmation of this, but absolutely did not deny it. Very exciting news, man. I think you know, I keep on going back to that one stone in Demon's Souls that was broken, and I'm just waiting for that DLC to drop where I can go through it and go to this different world. So anyway, that's the big super news. And of course, there's other stuff. You know, we all of us, our fans have been waiting for The Guardian, which is now being rumored to have been lifted to the PS4. So that's something that we, you know, possibly can talk about and much more. But those are the two big things we've been hearing about.
Yeah, I remember. Was it Demon's Souls when that first got released? Its codename was Project Dark, or it might have been Dark Souls. I think it was Demon's Souls though. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so right around the same time or same idea with this codename. What was the second thing you just said? Oh, The Last Guardian. Yeah. Did you ever play the first two? The Shadow of the Colossus and...
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't played them.
Yeah,
I played the first one on PS2 when it first came out a long time ago, but I never finished it.
Yeah, Ico was an absolutely beautiful game, and I will say right now that I never finished Shadow of the Colossus. But I can tell you this, I think I got up to like 2 short of the last Colossi. Not spoiling anybody who haven't finished the game, but dude, the sadness of killing those beasts was just depressing, and I felt like I couldn't go on. but it's a testament to the developer, and I'm really looking forward to what they do. I mean, they have a way of emotionally expressing without words. Really looking forward to this, and it's the reason why the thing still has legs, and it's been like 10,000 years since they announced it. Right? Remember
Yeah.
that trailer with the feather?
Yeah. 2006 is when they first announced
And
it.
man, so um, yeah, if that thing drops with the confirmation date at E3, uh, I'm going to have to get a brown paper bag, man, to keep myself from hyperventilating.
They don't even need a release date. They just need to talk about it.
Show something
Just
else,
something.
right?
Yeah. Cody in chat was saying that Project Beast will be a Sony exclusive. Do you think it will be? I don't personally. I don't think it would be. Just how successful Demon Souls or Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 have been on multi-platform. I don't think it would go exclusive.
The only see, I tend to agree with Cody and think that it will, but the only thing that makes me feel like there might be a timed exclusive here is because why not just call it Demon Souls 2? They changed the name. The Sony Japan and From Software are working together to build this. But again, and I know Project Beast is a working title, but if anything comes out and it says Demon Souls 2, then we know it's a Sony exclusive. Until then, yeah, we really don't know until we find out.
Yeah, I just know Sony doesn't own From Software anymore, so
they don't. But
they
do own the IP, right? So they own Demon Souls as an IP.
Well, they might be calling it Beast Souls.
Transformers Beast, yeah, something, right? Beast Souls. Hopefully, that'll remain the working title.
Yeah.
Now, some gaffers out there did find concept art from Demon Souls, and it was this world that never got released or never got visualized within the Demon Souls game. But in this world, there were a whole bunch of beastie like figures or opponents that you would come across, some enemies. And so that's the big, scuttlebutt around, like, oh my goodness, this could be actually the world that we never got a chance to actually play in. So, yeah, I'm stoking myself up as I talk about it. I need to calm down.
It could have just been concept art, though.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, it was concept art.
Yeah.
You're spot on, Flip. That's exactly what it was. But beastly people, Project Beast, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in about a month.
Yeah, man. Can't come quicker.
Yeah. And then they're also talking about Uncharted. Did you hear, was the art director now left? It's like the third most important person who could have left the team. He's gone now, too.
The absolute great exodus of all talented people. I have no words.
Yeah.
I have no words left. We'll see. I think we're all going to find out. We're all going to find out when we look and feel and taste the goodness of Uncharted, and it better taste great, right? And if it doesn't, there'll be revolt. But here's this typical, guys.
With all this talent leaving, do you think it'll still even feel like Uncharted, or do you think it's going to be a completely different game?
Yeah, I think it's going to feel like Uncharted because the mechanics are still going to be there. The engine is still going to be there. I think just think about this. Creative art director Amy was a fantastic teller of stories, so her vision was there. But yet, the person who's now overseeing everything gave us The Last of Us, which was pure perfection from my perspective. So I don't really have any concerns. But here's what's common: when someone leaves an industry and they have a certain degree of power or say so, and they land, it's very natural for them to bring over the people that they work well with. Are those folks who are willing to go with them. And I think this is what's happening. These folks are leaving. We know that some went to other organizations, but Amy has landed, I believe. And we haven't heard, well, we have heard, but I think that she's now pulling talent. We'll find out.
Speaking of that,
there's been a confirmation of where he actually went.
Did you hear about this announcement Disney made about Star Wars last week?
Yes, I felt like throwing up.
Me too.
Oh my goodness.
For those of you who don't know, basically, it was late April, like just before, or just after we finished the show last week. They said that everything that's ever been created in the Star Wars expanded universe, so everything outside of the 6 movies and the Clone Wars, is all not canon anymore.
Yep.
Everything's basically, that stuff's just fan fiction. You have all those books, all those stories, all those extra characters, everything, all the video games. None of it is canon. So
Nope.
it used to all be connected, and there were like people who
Yeah,
actually would
very smart
make sure that things
writers.
didn't overlap or things didn't contradict other things. Now it just doesn't matter. All that work was for nothing. I
I
don't
just
even
feel
want to
so
see the next
bad.
movie. I don't even
Out of
care
the
anymore.
'80s and the '90s, those folks who invested so much love into that lore, um, because that's all we had for many, 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 many years before episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out,
Hmm.
and those were the only way that we can still experience that universe. And now Disney has essentially said we're going to have a clean slate. Now, what's more egregious, Flip, is what they said yesterday, which is essentially they envision many spin-off movies from the Star Wars universe. So now we have essentially the Call of Duty of movies coming out, and it's going to be Star Wars. So we are essentially are going to get inundated with Star Wars. I don't know how I feel about that because Star Wars has never been, I think, in proper care uh, outside the first two movies. But Hollywood monopolizes things, and I'm just afraid that it's already a joke at this point, right? So maybe I'm just still living in my youthful love of the first two movies.
No, I think the vast majority of people, myself included, agree with you, because even the second trilogy, episodes 1, 2, and 3, a lot of the stuff from the expanded universe was used in those movies.
Huh. Oh man, it's going to be horrible. There
Yep.
will be blood. There was a movie like that. I
So
see that.
I'm probably not even going to see the next movie. I'm over it now.
You're gonna see it. Stop that.
Probably not.
Stop.
I don't think I'm going to.
Stop. I'm laying down the gauntlet. I will never say no. I am not. Listen, if Jar Jar Banks has a leading role, then I won't see it.
He's probably going to be in there. Why not? Because he's canon.
Jar Jar's canon. Jar Jar from the islands is there. Gee whiz. Okay, so that's the news. That's the what I'm gonna call that news of the weird, but it just happens to be true.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you play the Last of Us? Did you check out the grounded mode?
I didn't. So why didn't I play The Last of Us? Well, yeah, I have a couple of months out, right, before this thing releases on the PS4.
We think they still haven't given us a release date though.
They haven't, right? Everybody's saying June.
June would make sense.
June would make a whole lot of sense. I am really hoping to just be pleasantly surprised at everything and replay that thing anew. The only thing that I do want to enjoy is the multiplayer. I jumped on the multiplayer a couple times last week. I now suck royally. I used to be pretty. I wouldn't say I was incredible, but I was awesome enough. So I want to get back into that a little bit so I don't embarrass myself on the PS4.
Yeah.
But
There's
I
a ton
don't
of
want to.
trophies. They added like 14 trophies with this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you said earlier the most wonderful thing that I've heard about the entire experience, and that is that they're not locking difficulty behind completion of a game,
Right.
which we had to beat up very hard in order for us to play Survivor in the PS3 version.
Yeah, they said you should be able to jump into Grounded right away. I don't know about Grounded Plus. I'm assuming that will be gated, but
Well, yeah, I think so. And the real question is what does get carried over? And I don't think anything. So with Survivor, going from very hard to Survivor, when you jump difficulties, nothing carries over. But when you go to the plus version within the difficulty, your levels within your upgrades carried over.
right.
So when I got a gun, if I already had upgraded it to level 7 or level 5, whatever it was at the time, then when I pick it up, all of a sudden it's level 5. And that's very helpful, right? I'm wondering if that's a thing in Grounded. I'm actually nervous, very excited, right? But very nervous about this AI that's supposed to be a version of what we saw when you saw the original The Last of Us trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart AI,
Yeah.
flankable. Really excited about it, guys. But I'm staying away from it. To answer your question, Flip, staying away from it until the PS4 version comes out.
Yeah. I'm probably going to end up doing that too. I was thinking about playing Grounded, but I don't know. I thought the name for the difficulty is really cool. It's the same as the documentary. Did you ever watch that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
You need to watch that. It's really good. You'd like it if you like the game at all. So you need to check that out. It's on Amazon.
It's going to be the it's Darren. It's going to be my required watching.
Yeah. It's only like an hour
between
long.
now and
It's not very long at all.
episode 16. Yes, I'll check it out.
Yep. For those of you who are interested, the grounded difficulty makes the game a lot harder. I have the list of differences here, and we'll go through them. Enemies are much more aggressive. Enemies hide and throw projectiles instead of waiting to get shot, just like the E3 demo you were just talking about.
Yep.
Clickers are extremely sensitive. Apparently, you can just barely move the thumbstick and they'll hear you. Sections with enemies and waves have more waves. There's no melee button prompts or no QTE button prompts. The school section, there are fewer supplies than in survivor mode. I thought there were going to be like no supplies. So fewer checkpoints.
That's scary. And I'm gonna tell you that school section was absolutely ridiculous. I just ran around.
Yeah, they said it was
for my life, just punching people. But yeah.
Yeah. Fewer checkpoints, no listen mode. Enemies take much longer to lose their alerted state. Clickers don't have one. No HUD, no health indicator, no ammo guide unless you open your backpack. Can't see the rounds in your magazine. You can only tell Joel's health from his body language. Your companions give less ammo and less supplies than before.
I'm going from stoked to very, very, very scared. This is ridiculous. Go ahead.
That's everything.
Oh my goodness. So now I went from this is going to be an awesome challenge for the platinum to please don't make this a requirement for the platinum. But yeah.
Oh, we'll that's another thing that I think. When this gets this DLC added the 14 trophies. You have one for beating grounded mode, one for beating grounded plus. They added 2 map packs with this as well. You have to do each map. You have to complete the match without dying and get 3 executions on each map, and then also complete a game on each of the maps. I think when this goes to PS4, it's all going to be required for the platinum. I think you're going to have to do all these DLC trophies as well as the Left Behind in grounded mode for the platinum. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Right. I agree with you. I hope they don't, but I agree. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Because it's going to be the same list. So
that'd be absolutely horrible, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm committed to doing it though. I got the plat for The Last of Us. It was I love it when you enjoy the game. There's nothing more gratifying than going through a game and you actually enjoy the pathway to the plat. That's how I felt with Mass Effect 2. I loathe getting the plat for Mass Effect 3 because I had to play that stupid ending the second time. But yeah, with The Last of Us, the Uncharted games, except for the last boss fight in the first one, were all super enjoyable plats. This, now you've scared the crap out of me, Flip. I don't know if this is going to be enjoyable now, but
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, man.
Because I haven't played the traditional or the original game at all, or past my original playthrough. But I played Left Behind. We did Survivor and Survivor Plus. I think I don't remember if Survivor Plus was a requirement for the DLC, but I did the DLC on Survivor and liked it a lot. I liked not having as many supplies. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I played through the game originally, I think I played on the hard difficulty. I rarely used supplies. Like I was always trying to save my bombs for like the perfect moment, which never came. Yeah. So I just constantly had them I had full supplies the entire game. So I feel like I'd be able to handle it since I'm not used to relying on that stuff already. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Gosh. All right. They just took my happy moment away, man. Thanks a lot for that.
Yep. What else do we have in this news section? We could talk about Drive Club. The PlayStation Plus edition got discussed in a little bit more detail. We get 1 location, 11 tracks, 10 cars, as opposed to the full game, which includes 5 locations, 55 tracks, 50 cars, and 50 tour events. Yeah. Apparently, you can get the platinum from just having the PlayStation Plus version, which I think we talked about last week, but it's a lot longer. It'll be quite a grind.
Quite a boring grind too.
Yeah, probably if you're just hanging out in one area.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the game. it's still shrouded in mystery. These two games, uh, Project, did I say Project? Yeah, Drive Club and Project Cars. Those two games, very very heavily, at least the inference is that they're very heavily team based. Really looking forward to it. And then of course the other news, the other rumor that we forgot to talk about, which may very well be released on E3, is that Gran Turismo 6 is planned to be pushed to the PS4 and released sometime this year or bleed into the early part of next year.
I didn't think they'd do that. I thought they'd
Yeah.
they'd relaunch, like reboot Gran Turismo, and call it Gran Turismo for the PS4.
Well, I hope
That's
I
what I
hope
thought
they
was going
do.
to happen.
I hope they do. A lot of enthusiasts who picked it up felt like it didn't really improve significantly on what they got in Gran Turismo 5, which is a fantastic, awesome driving simulator. But we'll see. We'll see. But these two games I'm looking forward to. And some of the PC, PS4 picks that just recently came out for Project Cars, absolutely mouth-watering beautiful. Mouth-watering beautiful. Mouth-watering. So looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. And then the last part of that Drive Club news, they said over the next week or 2 weeks, I don't remember exactly, there's a few more announcements they'll be revealing, try to describe what this game's about. But if you get the PlayStation Plus version of the game, like I said, it's just like a fraction of the game. And then if you want the full game, you can upgrade your demo or trial, whatever you want to call it, to the full game for $50. And the way this is worded on the announcement, do you still have that up in front of you?
I do not.
Okay. A lot of people are freaking out thinking that you have to have your PlayStation Plus subscription active in order to use this. But I think the sentence that they released just reads weird. Because if you take... I don't know. I'll let you find the sentence, and then we'll talk about it.
All right, well, I'm going to it right now.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty much of a storm because the inference is that they're changing their policy, or at least it's a change to the policy that PSN has always had, which is essentially anything that you get for free on PSN, once you no longer have PSN, you don't have that thing. But if you pay 1 penny for it through a discount on PSN, then it's yours for life, whether you have the PSN Plus or not, right? And so here's how the sentence reads. So we're talking about the upgrade. You can get the upgrade for $49.99. This will give you access to all 5 locations, 55 tracks, 50 cars, and all 50 tour events, as long as your PlayStation Plus subscription remains active. That last sentence sparked the fire.
See, if you read that same sentence, but don't add all the stuff about the tracks and stuff, like just take that middle section out and reread it.
This will give you access to all locations.
No, that's the part I want you to take out.
Oh, one-time upgrade for $49.99, as long as your PlayStation Plus subscription remains active.
So if you read it like that and you take out everything else, then it sounds like as long as your PlayStation Plus subscription is active, you're able to upgrade the game.
There you go.
But if you read the whole sentence, it kind of reads weird. It makes you think that you don't have access to this extra stuff unless the PlayStation Plus is active, which I don't think is the case, but that's what everyone seems to be thinking. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I think, like you said, anytime you pay any money for anything, you always end up keeping it past your Plus subscription. But like you mentioned earlier, you need PlayStation Plus to play the game because it's one of those online only games.
Yeah.
And you can't play multiplayer games on the PS4 without PS Plus anyway, so you'd have to have it.
That's right. That's right. And that's and that, you know what, I think you've talked me into it. I know they mentioned that they'll clarify this, and I think to your earlier point that the extra news that's going to come out in the next few weeks will probably speak to that a little bit. But if Drive Club is in fact what it is intended to be, a club of folks who drive online and compete and help, whatever this is supposed to be, then yeah, it's an online heavy game. And if you're going to play an online heavy game, gosh dog it, you got to be online.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right. Dying Light was supposed to come out next month. It's by the people who made Dead Nation. No, not Dead Nation. That's what Dead Island. That's what it was. I'm getting confused. People in chat are talking about Dead Nation. Dead Island is making that parkour zombie game. Looks like Mirror's Edge meets Dead Island. supposed to come out this summer, and now it's delayed until February 2015. So,
just like my beloved game that I've always been waiting for, the Capcom game. Gosh, dog it! It's my free game that was going to be free to play. It's the spiritual successor to Dark Arisen. Who knows? Who cares? It'll come up to me later. But you know, we talked about this last week. When a publisher delays a game, it's always for the good.
yeah, just like Watch Dogs. Looks pretty good.
So,
did you see the trophy list for Watch Dogs?
I didn't.
It's different from the PS3 versus the PS4. There's one more trophy on the PS4.
And what's that?
It's escaping 5 car chases, which I think is when you watch the multiplayer trailer, the like mobile, the cell phone thing where you connect with the phone. I think that's what it is. So I'm guessing the PS3 and the mobile device don't communicate. I don't know.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking it is.
Probably so. Well, it can't be too hard to do, and I'm pretty sure that that games like that where you're involved with somebody hacking you and you got to escape them are probably going to be farmed very heavily with friends. So if it is difficult, I'm pretty sure we can overcome it.
Right. I'm so nervous about that game. I want it to be good. Ubisoft games always hype me up. Every Assassin's Creed I always get super excited for, and then I'm getting let down when I play it.
Here's why I feel good. Here's why I feel good, Flip. Black Flag was wonderful.
Yeah, I need to put more time into that one.
And each of the 2 DLCs associated with it was absolutely great. I thoroughly enjoyed Black Flag, and at some point after I finished, the only issue with it was a technical issue that Ubisoft took way too long to resolve with respect to the sharing is caring trophy. But I found myself, just sailing the sea, and it was just so well done. Very surprised. Not that Ubisoft is a crap developer; they're a wonderful developer. But I was very surprised at the care and that was put into the environment, the sounds, the spray of the ocean, the waves, the detail. So when you consider that, I know they're 2 separate developers, 2 separate teams. I have faith in Watch Dogs, so I am thoroughly prepared to be disappointed. Flip. I actually am expecting this thing to be good.
Yeah. I hope it is. It needs to be good. You were talking about that sharing is caring trophy. I know the Child of Light was made by Ubisoft, and the trophy list is different from the achievement list. Did you check out the achievement list by any chance?
No, I'm actually looking at that right now. Yeah. Bear with me. Yep.
There is a trophy. I'm trying to find it somewhere. It has something to do with upgrading. It's really similar to sharing is caring. I don't know what it is right now. I can't find it. But anyway, that's glitched on the Xbox. So it's like, I don't know why they keep adding these community trophies and achievements. They never work, so they should just not do that.
It's almost like we're gonna be social participants whether we like it or not, and outside of defined multiplayer functionality, don't force multiplayer into my single player. So, and I say that while I'm still looking forward to Watchdog. And what's the thing with Watchdog? Anybody around you can be somebody else across the universe playing the game, and so that interaction is so amazing and so seamless. I think it's fantastic. So they're forcing it down my throat. I just made myself a freaking hypocrite, right? But so everybody forget what I just said. If it's done right, I don't mind. But I do hate when they push it on us, apply trophies to it, and then the crap doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Yep, I understand. I'm the same way. I also don't like multiplayer games, so I'm excited for the multiplayer components in Watch Dogs. I don't know. It looks intriguing. It looks like it's going to be good.
That was one of the best presentation demos of multiplayer interaction I think I've ever seen. Pulling up on the side, hacking your friend, being in the freaking ice cream truck while he's watching around trying to figure out where you are. Man. How awesome is that, right? Really, really good stuff. I hope it actually works.
It's going to be fun. So we've got some Destiny news. They finally announced when the beta is going to start. It starts this July. sure you're going to be jumping into that.
Oh yeah, man, and I'm already ready. Reserved my beta. I think the first time it was made available for pre-purchase, and man, I'm. So here's this thing, guys. Yeah, I was an original Xbox gangster owner, right? The big giant super box with the big giant super controller, and I never got into Halo. Just for whatever reason, never liked it. In this game, some of the stuff that's coming out is that it has a real Halo feel. That float jump ability, the movement, the way that the guns fire, and it makes sense, right? Same developer.
Right.
So I'm a little nervous.
I heard it plays like Halo with Borderlands type mechanics with like a Mass Effect style story. Is the way I heard it described in some article I read over a year ago.
So I'm on the beta, looking forward to it. Beta would be better with friends, so I'm looking forward to you, Flip, jumping on it. Anybody else?
Yeah.
And yeah, see, I'm looking forward. I'm just nervous. I went from being incredibly hyped to now nervous. So we'll see.
I'm still looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it without question. It is still my singular most anticipated game, right next to The Witcher 3. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and what have we forgotten, right? And this is one of the most fascinating things from E3 as well. And ABC on the chat box brought it up, is Tom Clancy's The Division. Beautiful freaking game. Love the interaction to it. But was that always going to be a 2014 release? Wasn't it sometime in the future? It doesn't have a release date yet, does it?
It was never supposed to be this year.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get more information about it in 2 months.
Yeah, probably. That should show up.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll talk about it again.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands 2 came out with a bundle with the PlayStation Slim, which I guess is like 15% lighter, has a longer battery life, has the LCD screen instead of the OLED screen.
Right, the Vita, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Borderlands 2 for the Vita comes out on the 13th next week, separately. Right now, the cross-save, I guess, doesn't work, but it'll work next week. And there's only 2-player co-op on the Vita, as opposed to 4.
Well, you know what that means. I gotta get that plat on the Borderlands still on the PS3.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to get back into that. And we've got Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark has a release date now, June 24th, which is 3 days before the movie comes out. You gonna play that? You looking forward to that at all?
I haven't played any of the Transformers games.
I haven't either. I played the demo of the last one and really liked it, but that was all I played. I didn't play any more than that.
This is the Cybertron game or something? The last
Fall
one?
of Cybertron?
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the two, yeah.
You know what? I'll look at it. If they've released a demo, I'll check it out. I just never been a fan of the Transformers games.
They're pretty good. I just haven't actually jumped in and started playing them. But I've heard from people who've played it, I've never heard bad things. I guess each level you play is a different Transformer, and each level's different than the others, and they work well. Lots of online stuff to do, though, so that's why I've stayed away.
Yeah. Should be a rule against that.
There never will be. There never will be. Well, we can go over new releases this week. Not a huge week. It's pretty slow. I think you called it the calm before the storm before we started. Just MLB The Show 14 for PS4, which is getting glowing reviews. Everyone's loving that. I couldn't care less about a sports game, so I haven't even looked into it. And Bound by Flame. And digitally, we've got Sports Friends, Titan Attacks, and Stick It to the Man is on PS4. Sports Friends cross-buy if you buy it on the PS3. It transfers to the PS4. And Titan Attacks, I think, is only on the PS4. I don't remember now.
Okay.
And Stick to the Man is free for PlayStation Plus. I played it when it got released on the PS3. It's like a puzzle platformer. It's not very long. I think it's like 5 hours long. It's funny throughout the entire game, so I think it's worth a playthrough. It's different, though. It's not what you'd expect.
I'm gonna run through it.
It's interesting. It's worth the time. Bound by Flame comes out tomorrow.
Which also, Flip, has glowing reviews, right?
Not glowing, but
we'll talk about it. Talk about it, man.
Yeah. GameStop broke the street date yesterday. I guess I just found out about it today, so I went by and picked it up. I think I'm about an hour, maybe an hour and a half through it. It's decent. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it's not as great as I expected. I thought the combat would be similar to like Kingdoms of Amalur, because I watched the combat demo video that they released, and it's like 15-20 second clips of your character using all these different weapons, casting these different spells, and it looked pretty fast paced. But it's not as fast as Kingdoms of Amalur, but it's not as slow as Dark Souls. But it's like a mixture of the two. So, like I said, I'm not very far into it. The voice acting is terrible. That's my biggest complaint. The character, you can make your own character at the beginning of the game, but the customization options are pretty lacking.
What? You mean to tell me if I made myself, I couldn't give myself an afro?
No, that's not an option.
That's a problem.
Each gender has 5 different hairstyle options, and they're all weird too. Like the female hair, you don't have like the normal ponytail or like long hair. It's like weird half-shaven heads, and it's I don't know. It was weird. Check out this screenshot though. This is the guy from the cover art. So the armor looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty intimidating. But I noticed a pretty big design flaw. If that guy sneezes, he is dead. He's got all the spikes on the collar there. It looks cool, but if he sneezes, he is screwed. So, yeah. The graphics are pretty good. I think the game looks good. A lot of people disagree with me though, from what I read from various websites. I thought it looks good. The inventory management system is pretty cool too. As you get new items, you can upgrade them, and based on what, I guess, gem you put inside the item, it changes the appearance. It can add spikes to your armor or add a hilt to your sword. Like it changes the appearance of your armor. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I played up to the first boss fight, and that fight was kind of cheap. I'm also playing on the hardest difficulty. I looked at the trophies. I don't know how many playthroughs it's going to be, because you have 3 skill trees. You have one for like almost like a warrior build, one for like a ranger build, and then one for your caster. And I don't know if you'll be. Yeah, there's a trophy to max out each of the 3 trees, and I don't know if you'll be able to do it in one playthrough or if you have to do it in 3. Because like in Magus, which is a similar skill system, you had to do multiple playthroughs in order to max those out. So we're gonna see what happens. But so far on the hardest difficulty, aside from that boss, I haven't had too much trouble. I learned a lot from Dark Souls, and that converted over.
It was not all for nothing, huh?
Yep. This time, and in this game, when you block or parry, you don't take any damage. You don't like have a stamina bar or anything. So that was frustrating in Dark Souls. You don't have to deal with that. It blocks all damage, unless it's like a super strong attack that knocks you down. Then you do take some damage.
Okay.
But it's pretty much just so far. Like I'm not very far into it, so I only have started with like the starter weapons. I haven't gotten axes and hammers and all that stuff yet. But so far, okay. I just have like a 2-handed sword and daggers. It's basically run up to the enemy, swing once or twice, block, and then just rinse and repeat. And that's how I've approached every enemy I've came across, and I haven't had too much trouble. And it's when you start getting different enemies in groups that it becomes a little more challenging. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm not very far into it. I'm probably going to stream some more of it tonight and then play for a pretty big portion of it tomorrow.
Awesome. I'll finally get a chance to check it out myself. You said bad voice acting, right? Which is, what I've been living playing Game of Thrones. I'm about 75% in, so almost near the end. Very, very convoluted trophy design, which requires you to be very, very careful about how you play and what you do. Primarily because there's hidden or trigger-based quests, i.e. people you have to talk to in certain chapters to trigger quests in later chapters. And if you don't do those things, they're all optional, you'll miss it. So those type of design elements I think are horrid.
What game are you talking about?
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah. And you talked about bad acting, and it just made me think about what I'm going through with the Game of Thrones game.
Yeah.
So it's certainly for those folks who like these medieval fantasy based games. Yeah, just think twice. Study really hard with respect to the trophy layout for Game of Thrones. It's not an incredibly difficult platinum. It's just easy to mess up. There's a number of gotchas in there, including just flat out missable trophies that are not outlined very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, horrible acting, horrible graphics. Like two different teams built it out, and then they just mushed it together. There's in-game communication where your characters talk to somebody and the voice changes so drastically in the middle of a sentence that it's like, oh my goodness, we forgot to add in this line. Let's add it in now. And they just inserted it, that kind of thing. It's just cringeworthy, And one of the pieces, and I'll leave it at this, Flip, one of the pieces that makes it's gone from being curious to aggravating the crap out of me, and now I just laugh at it. But every time you're talking to a character, no matter who it is, woman, child, sellsword, merchant, friend, or foe, when they are waiting for you to communicate back to them, they have this one stance that they take, and it's very similar to the Microsoft Avatar guy, where they put one hand on their hip and they lean to the side because they're just waiting for you to say something. And that's what everybody does in a game. I just look at it like, what the heck were they thinking, Just variety, please. Anyway, so this is another game I'll be very happy to finish. And, just got a few more chapters to go.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Thank you. And you too, man, if you're going to continue with Bound by Fire or Blood.
Bound by Flame's not that bad. It's not even close.
Okay, that's good to hear.
So.
That's good to hear.
This one I'd actually recommend playing. If you're looking for a good action RPG, I'd say this is, at least from what I've played so far, it seems to be worth my time. I'm looking to finish it out. I'm not dreading playing it. I'm actually looking forward to finishing the show so I can go play it some more. So
good. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. The voice acting is not great, but it's not going to stop me from playing the game. I don't really care. You could skip the cutscenes anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, what else have you played? Is it just Game of Thrones, or have you gotten into anything
So
else?
I think I finally I've played a little bit of Child Light. It's what I found for me personally, Flip, is that unless I'm incredibly in love with the game, if there isn't a platinum associated with it, don't hate me, people. I'm not encouraged to play it. And there's nothing that pulls me back to it. And so Child of Light has
Every trophy ups that score though.
I know it does, but there's so many other games that has that last ping that we all love to hear and see on the on the screen.
You have to finish Child of Light. You can't let it go.
Have you finished it?
I haven't.
What?
I'm still working on it. I'm not giving up on it. I didn't just say that.
You better finish it.
I will.
I haven't finished it, but you better. So one thing that I have been playing. Here's the great contradiction, people. I've been freaking still playing Destiny of Souls with only 2 trophies left to go.
Destiny Spirits.
Did I screw it up again? Destiny Spirits. I do it every week. Forget it. It's too much. Well, but I think I'm finally done with it. I realize now that the last trophy that I need outside of just the consecutive sign-on days, which they glitched. I was at day 20. And then they just automatically started me back to day 1. I feel like fighting after that. But the last and final trophy.
It wasn't just you. Yeah, that's why I stopped playing too.
Okay, well, the last and final trophy that I'm going to need is just freeing all zones in the world, which is 200 plus. I'm at 100 and something freed areas. And I've been leveling up my folks and doing all kind of crazy stuff. I'm pretty confident that I can get through everything. But I'm now got to the point where I don't really feel like doing that. So that's a good thing for me. I don't have to spend my time with that. And it was really taking time away from Tokuden and other games that I really wanted to play. So I feel good about that. But other than that, no, just that and The Hobbit, which I'm finding to be quite a chore to get through. But not much though. Again, I'm thoroughly looking forward to something that grabs me, where I just can't wait to get back to it where I actually enjoy playing it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that out right now.
Yeah.
South Park did that, but that didn't last very long.
Well, I told my
I still
wife
think
about-
South Park's probably the best game that's been released this year so far, but it doesn't have much competition. But
haven't played it, but I tell everyone when they ask about that wonderful, great job describing this certain part where there were testicles flying, and yeah, I still have nightmares about that Flip. But my wife thinks it's incredibly funny that they actually did that in the game.
Faithy said he finished Shadow Light. See, so
That's awesome.
I bet he'll say he loved it, and then you have to finish it.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, and it just gets better as you get through the game. So,
you know what? The one thing again, I've only played up to 3, 4. That's the third chapter or whatever it is, which up until that point baffles my freaking mind that anyone would give that game anything less than a than 7.58. Right. If it's less than that, I just feel like you shouldn't be grading games at that point, because what you expect to get out of a game, what you expect to get out of something that was designed a certain way to play, is totally off base, and you don't have a right to recommend anything to anyone. This game,
it's a little hostility there.
Yeah, it is. It is hostility, because I am, I just think I'm a little pet peeved at that game, having not completed it, unless it stinks to high heaven in chapter 7, 8, 9, is a wonderful, new, and refreshing game that builds in elements that we'd have never seen before on a platformer where you have turn-based, complex, finger twisting controls that's not too overbearing. I just find it enjoyable, and outside of little small quirks that I have, I can't discount the game for it. So I'll finish it. You guys talking me into it. You're guilty me.
I can't find it now. Ubisoft just recently announced their next game, which uses that same engine, but it looks completely different. And I don't remember what it's called, and I don't remember what it's about. But it's the next game that uses that engine, and that should be coming soon. But I can't find it, so I know nothing about it. So, never mind. Anyway, is that all you've been playing?
That's it, man.
Okay.
That is it for me. But tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be crushed in 2 weeks, by the way.
Yeah. I actually picked up the PlayStation controller for the first time in a while, and actually held on to it for more than 30 minutes. So it's been a good week for me. I've tried to get back into the Spider-Man 2, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it's not getting any better. So I'm gonna play it and finish it, but the movement and the travel methods it's just too clunky. It doesn't work. I don't know. Like I said last week, it just feels like they took a giant step backwards.
Yeah, those type of games, you want it to be fluid. You want to feel like you're in control.
And the last one was.
And I'm speaking not from playing, but from listening to your last description of the original Spider-Man. And but I get that. I get the idea of moving around and not thinking about it. No matter what game you play, a lot of perfect example. I think when we got into the later chapters of Infamous, you felt you didn't have to think about what you were doing. All you had to do was pick up whatever power you wanted, and it was an afterthought.
Speaking of Infamous, did you hear about Paper Trail? They got to the end and they decided that they weren't going to put the paper power in the game, so you don't have it. You just get 4 jackets for finishing Paper Trail.
Well, guess what,
and
guys?
the bunny mask.
Well, here's also what they released. Right, is that there's going to be a DLC, a massive DLC that they're working on, and I'm wondering if that DLC is going to contain the paper power.
They said it was too complex to implement into the game.
And you know what's also, and I hope they do this, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I hope they follow the same pattern that they did with the Infamous 1 and 2, where whenever they released DLC, it was independent of the disc purchased game. That would be awesome, because then I can buy it and I can continue my play instead of having to go back and get the game just to enjoy the DLC. So it'll be interesting to see how they implement this DLC.
Yeah, they didn't sell a season pass, so I'd imagine they would follow the same pattern they've been doing?
They've been successful with it. And you know what? And I think also not having a season pass is consistent with just being a brand new release on a brand new platform. Let's think about how many games got burnt with that. Specifically for the PS3 last gen, and people felt that. I think the selling of the PS4 has outpaced everybody's expectation across the board. So when you're planning for releasing that kind of stuff, you kind of have an expectation of how many units you're going to sell.
Right.
Well, freaking Infamous did great. So I'm happy for Sucker Punch. We're really looking forward to the next game. We know it's going to be another one, and hopefully this time they get the story right.
Hopefully. Something a little more exciting than getting rocks out of an old lady's leg.
All right. And then the lady saying, I'd rather die.
Yeah. So, I played through The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then decided I wanted to play something else. I had a huge stack of games that have just been sitting around, just like short, easy games that are terrible, and I knew were going to be bad, and for some reason, I felt like burning myself out on them. So, I played through The Smurfs 2.
Yay!
Which was the shortest platinum that came out last year. It only takes like 5 or 6 hours. It's so bad. It's like an extremely basic version of Mario Brothers. Just basically walking from one side of the screen to the other, and that's pretty much it. And then a few boss fights that are all very, very easy. Super easy game, completely boring. I fell asleep like 3 times trying to play the game. Yeah. And then I have that UDraw tablet that THQ made, the thing that put THQ out of business. I bought that because I wanted to play that Marvel game. And when I bought it, it came with something called Instant Artist, which was really stupid and boring, but had a platinum, and this Pictionary game, which I never got around to, but I wanted to finish that tablet, so I never had to pick that up again. And that Pictionary game was a drag. It's just monotonous and mundane, and it takes too long to get through. So I did that, got the platinum in that one. Then I hopped on PlayStation Now because I was going to play Rise of the Guardians, because I'd started that, and it turns out that PlayStation Now changed their entire game lineup. So there's 20 different games, so I wasn't able to play that. But Ben 10 Omniverse 2 was out on there, and I remembered people saying that was a pretty simple platinum. So I decided to jump into that, and that is probably the worst game I've ever played. Oh my god, it was so bad. Did you ever play Temple Run on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. There are like running sequences similar to that game, and as you're running down the lane, you have different alien forms you can turn into. You could be like a light alien or a medium or a heavy, and there's different obstacles that one of the 3 of them can cross. So you have to switch between the aliens and then change your lanes around and navigate to where you're trying to go. And then there's in between these travel lanes, there's like little arena fights you have to do. And the fighting mechanics don't work very well. It's not very responsive. Once again, I was playing on PlayStation Now, and it doesn't work like it should. We all knew it wasn't going to work, but it really doesn't. Like, I was playing on a wireless connection. It was really bad. So it's like, and I have a pretty good internet connection. It's like 30 up, 10 down, and
more than enough. Yeah.
Right. Which is double what they recommended as the amount that you had to have for it to work properly. So I switched to a wired connection, and it was a little bit better, but it still was bad. There's still points where it lags. It's like when you get to the hard parts of the game where you have like quite a few enemies on screen, you need your skills to be like on par, and everything needs to be perfect because you're trying to get the platinum. You're playing on the hardest difficulty. Like, those points are when the game decides to lag, because there's so much stuff going on the screen. You're trying to move everything fast. That's when it starts to have issues. It just doesn't work because they can't render it. It doesn't work like Netflix. I mean, that's so what sad. The idea is, but
I'm so sad.
Yeah. I was looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to a flip switch on this, man. I just want Sony to say, hey, yeah, now we're going to implement this, and all of a sudden it's going to do exactly what we want it to do. That makes me sad. And one of the interesting things that you brought up right before the show is that Catherine is an option for now, right? Did you mention that? Is it still an option for now?
Yeah, Catherine's on that list as well.
Okay. Um, which bugs my mind, right? So this is probably why it's in fact a beta, because Catherine's one of those games that absolutely requires you to be super quick and make quick decisions, pulling blocks, pushing blocks, dodging enemies, dodging pop-ups, and if one of those lags happen,
Right.
you're screwed.
You're dead.
Right.
Yeah. The whole list of games that they changed, if anybody cares, I don't know if I'll go through it. Heavy Fire, Shattered Spear, Luminous, Supernova, Nights into Dreams, Retrograde, Sacred Citadel, Saints Row the Third, Skullgirls Encore, Sniper Elite V2, Puppeteer, Eat Them, Pixel Jump Racers Second Lap, Pixel Junk Shooter 2, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, Ben 10 Omniverse 2, Contrast, Disgaea 2 A Brighter Darkness, Catherine, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, Fuel, and Grid. That's the new list that they added. I was going to play Sniper Elite V2, but then I looked at the trophy list, saw that there's like online trophies that you have to do, and that's just a monster I don't want to encounter. That's just, it already doesn't work for single player games very well. I don't even want to attempt to see what it's like in multiplayer while I'm trying to stream the game. There's also, it does some weird things when I was experiencing this. I had unlocked a bunch of trophies in Ben 10 and jumped out of PlayStation Now and was looking at my trophy list and they weren't there. But I knew I got those trophies. So at first I thought the trophies, like it glitched or something.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure out why that would be, why I knew I saw the trophy pop up. I thought I was going crazy. You have to actually go into PlayStation Now. And when you go into PlayStation Now, it changes the XMB. Instead of having the full XMB, you just have your trophy list, or you can look at your friends list. That's it.
All right.
You have to actually sync your trophies in PlayStation Now for them to count or to go. It's almost like it's a separate server. It's really weird. Because I was out of PlayStation Now and I synced the trophies, and the trophies I knew that I had unlocked didn't show up still. But then I went back in PlayStation Now, synced it there, and then everything was fine. It was really weird. I don't know why it works that way. It doesn't make sense. Also, if you are playing a game, you set the controller down. I think it's a 5-minute timer. If you're inactive for 5 minutes, it kicks you out. Which is not good because a couple of
cutscenes that's longer than 5 minutes.
Right. And then if you like pause the game, get up, go get something to eat or something, come back, and your game didn't save, you've lost all that progress. And that happened a couple times, and it was kind of frustrating. So it doesn't have like a save state or anything. It just starts over. So that's frustrating. So I'm not a huge fan of PlayStation Now. I wanted it to be good. I was looking forward to it. It's too much of a hassle. And then also sometimes the servers don't communicate. Like if there's a hiccup in the server or something, it'll kick you out of the game. And the same thing happens. You have to start over, and it's just frustrating. I don't know. I think it's too much hassle.
We'll see.
It's almost not worth the time. I don't know. But yeah. Hopefully they iron things out. I don't know how they could. It's a good idea. It just doesn't work as well as everybody thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played... Oh, also in Ben 10, it's the only game I've ever played where you play games like Dark Souls where you have your stamina bar.
Yeah.
Now imagine if your stamina bar was your health. Because that's how it is in this Ben 10 game. Like you have a stamina that constantly drains whenever you're in alien form, which is constantly. So your health is constantly draining. And then if you take damage, then a chunk of it goes away. And then each time you switch from one alien to another, it shoots down a little bit too.
What?
It's ridiculous. I've never played a game like that. That's the biggest design flaw I've ever seen. It was very frustrating. It's supposed to be really easy. I think it was just... It felt like a chore the entire time I was playing. It wasn't even worth it.
Totally appreciate your statement about struggling to stay awake while playing some of these games.
Yeah.
I know with Rise of the Guardian, that's a game that's supposed to be a 6 to 8 hour plat, and it is. But it took me maybe 3 days to do it, or a little bit longer than that, because literally after every hour and a half, I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I just have to walk away. It is just like you're just it's a marathon of pushing the X button.
Yeah. Yep. So, So that's what I suffered through. And then I picked up Bound by Flame today and finally have something decent to play. Anything after playing those games back to back, anything seems like a gem, so.
Good deal.
Yeah. But we can go over trophies. It's usually about the time we do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so last week. I think last week I'd forgotten to sync my trophies too, but it was just Child of Light stuff. 4,253 trophies, 54 platinums, level 23, 32%. Bounces up to 4,383 trophies. That is 70 trophies. So not bad.
Yeah.
Three new platinums and a 46% level increase. So about half a level.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was hoping to get level 24, but it didn't work out. And for you, we're sitting at 4,177 trophies, 65 platinums, level 22, 93%. And now we're at 4,222. So that is 23 plus 22, 50, yep. 45. I can't count today.
It's okay. I'm not looking at it. I can't see it. But yeah, not so much. You
leveled up though.
I did.
You're level 23 now.
Awesome. On the outskirts, right when you're about to leave the level 23 to level 24. But yeah, so I think the good news for me is that I've now stopped playing the one game that'll never give me any more than three more trophies, and I've unfortunately given up on sound shapes.
You can't give. That's 3 platinums. You're just gonna.
It's 3 platinums, and I just got to get through one board. So we'll see.
Yeah, we need to play Borderlands 2 also, because that's 2 platinums now.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, absolutely, it is 2 platinums. Same thing with Sly, Thieves in Time, which I just need to go ahead and just knock out the one on the PS3 because those sync through on the Vita as well. Yeah,
I have it on the Vita, but I don't have it on the PS3.
But don't you get it? Did you buy the?
I rented the PS3 version and got the voucher.
Okay.
And then returned the rental and still had it on the Vita. I never finished the game.
Okay.
Went over all the news stuff. Talked about where we played. I don't think I have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I don't, man. I don't. I am. I'm looking forward to this week coming up. We are going to gear up, and I think every week, where we get closer and closer to E3, the noise and craziness is going to just ramp. And in the midst of doing all that fantastic stuff, we're going to have some pretty cool games to enjoy. So.
Oh, upcoming releases next week. It's a pretty slow week. But we have Borderlands 2, the separate release outside of the bundle on the Vita, and also Soul Sacrifice Delta are both coming out on Tuesday.
Yep.
Then the week that everyone is excited about, we got the following week is Transistor, and Wolfenstein, and Drakengard. That
game is going to be a 1 week platinum. I think I'm going to try to do it in 4 days RPG. I may have to take off a couple days, but I'm going to get 0 sleep.
I heard it's not that long.
That's even better.
It was only better. 30 hours, I think is what I saw.
What?
When I looked at the list. Yeah, it didn't look like it was very long.
And how can it be? That's an oxymoron. You can't have an RPG and 30 hours in the same sentence. Look, I'm not going to complain. I was already expecting to dump 80 plus hours into this thing. So if this is 30 hours, that's like freaking getting a Christmas present.
This is 40 plus. I guess it's all just one playthrough and all side quest stuff. I don't know. I haven't played the other Drakengard, so I don't know what to compare it to, but that's what this says. Because the game came out in Japan quite a while ago. Last May, or last December. So, yeah. But that wraps up the show. We're live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Always live here, twitch.tv/Fliptriq. I upload the videos to YouTube after we finish, so that should be up here pretty soon tonight. You can follow me at Fliptriq on Twitter, and DMC is DMC_123. And we will be back next week. So, the community game night. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to do that this
Yeah.
week? Do you want to roll that out every Saturday? Is that what you said?
Yeah, let's start that back up.
Okay. Well, we'd have to start it initially. We haven't ever started it, I don't think. Oh, I guess we played Borderlands once. I don't know. Keep an eye on my Twitter, and I'll talk about whatever game we'll be playing. I don't know. We could do some Last of Us, knock out those DLC trophies, or we could. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something.
Hey man, I'm still waiting.
Or some Borderlands. I don't know. We'll figure something
Or some
out.
Borderlands. There you go.
If anybody's looking forward to joining us for our community game night, it'll be live every Saturday at the same time. So you get to deal with us twice a week now instead of just once. So thank you all for watching.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and
All right,
I will
guys.
see you next week.